Nothing can happen without purification. Pray for a red heifer. Before the temple can be built, not only the priests, but the people must be pure. Purification can happen in one of two ways, either from within, or from without, meaning from outside forces. Purification from within includes repentance and sacrifice, then salvation, or redemption. Purification from outside excludes repentance and only includes sacrifice before salvation, usually through war, death and destruction. The examples of purification from within is in the book of Jonah with Nineveh and in the book of Esther. You can also see it in the book of Maccabees, although it was only a part of their group and not the whole community, so there was a mixture of war and death as well as repentance. Purification from outside can be seen with the destruction of both temples as well as the Holocaust. This idea that the Holocaust is like nothing else before and therefore cannot be compared to anything else is why you, Jews, will never learn your lesson from your own history and are doomed to repeat the same mistakes. All you have to do is look at Persia, in the story of Purim, and compare what didn't happen in Europe. What does all this mean for today? It means without true repentance, any future temple that is built will be doomed to be destroyed, along with a good portion of the Jewish people. Repentance for what? That is the million-dollar question no one seems to be able to figure out, but that is the main goal of this channel, to enlighten people on what seems to be obvious to me that no one else seems to see. It's called spiritual blindness, but it is just a manifestation of impurity, which leads me to the next topic of purification. We need the red heifer. The red heifer will lift the spiritual blindness. It will be the catalyst to bring people together. Why do the Haredim keep themselves separate from other Jews? Because they feel others are impure compared to themselves. They are blind to their own hypocrisy while they think nothing of going to all these kevers, graves, to pray. If they are so concerned with purity, why isn't it forbidden to go to these places when you know it makes you impure and there is no way to purify yourself against it? Especially when you are here in Israel where it's not even necessary. You have the Kotel right there. That's the whole purpose of the Kotel, to pray to God, not people. This, along with so many other examples, is what the red heifer will change. This proves how the rabbis have gone astray, and as a consequence have led Jews astray. When the leadership sin and become corrupt, the whole community suffers and is then judged by God. This is what happened with both temples, and it happened with the Holocaust. Don't blame God, blame your leaders. And if nothing changes, it will happen again. Case in point, there is a lot of talk, fervor, and willingness on the part of this new Sanhedrin to hasten the building of a third temple. Why are they asking President Trump for permission to build a temple when we don't have the red heifer? They also just recently consecrated the temple altar along with the high priest this past Hanukkah. They, along with the Temple Institute, want people to see and get used to what it would be like if there was a temple. I think that is a good thing if done in an educational way. But there is something else going on. They are putting the cart before the horse, so to speak, by actually trying to put facts on the ground before we have the red heifer. Yes, I know there is now a real-life red heifer, but it is not old enough yet and it may not be valid when it does get to the right age. As it is now, since we have been impure for so long, literally everything we touch needs to be purified. This needs to be the first priority before a temple can even start to be built. Do you realize how monumental a task that is? Do you realize how long that would take? You would probably need several red heifers, or a whole herd. Another case in point, I just recently found out the Temple Institute plans to build is not Ezekiel's temple, but a replica of the second temple. Why not Ezekiel's temple? They say it's too big and they don't really understand how to build it. So it doesn't take a genius to figure out that in order to build Ezekiel's temple, this third temple must also be destroyed. Do they not realize that literally proves the Christian revelation prophecy? Not to mention Islamic prophecy? They are unwittingly setting the stage for the Antichrist. I saw a video lecture of Rabbi Chaim Richman, the head guy at the Temple Institute. He was asked how the Muslims would allow a temple to be built. He replied that Muslims tell him that they want a temple built, so he thinks they will just let it happen. Are you serious? Of course they want you to build a temple, so they can destroy it. I can't believe he could be that naive. As it is now, the only way there can be a temple is through a battle with a definitive winner and loser, as in Purim, or the Six-Day War. In order for that to happen, there must be repentance through our collective spiritual awakening through the red heifer. Until then, I will try to do what I can to encourage or help the process. If you want to help, please share and consider making a donation to support me in this mission. Thank you.